ReZero just has a way, man. It just has a way of orchestrating this masterpiece that is called ReZero. This show's too good. But this is another hard review. The show is so hard hitting. Of course, it's reminiscent of the Rim scene. There's a reference to Rim, going over the lines in which he said in episode 18 to refer to episode 29 in season 2, or episode 4 in season 2, to refer to who Subaru is today. What I saw from Subaru today was something that I just did not expect. I didn't know he was so in depth, like this turtle in a shell kind of atmosphere he had going on around him. I didn't know it was going to be that in depth. I watched a show that just had me just trying to hold these tears back the whole time I'm watching it, man. And that's tough, because I know for you, the person watching this video, or someone who's watching someone else's video, whoever it may be, whoever's watching any kind of video, one of the things that they're going to come away with this episode is, wow. Subaru's parents are so damn cool. They're so damn understanding. They get it. They accept it. And I think a lot of us struggle, remember our past, and we struggled. There's always these things that we just couldn't say, but, our parents didn't understand. They were impatient. We were impatient with ourselves, and we kind of give up. We're the best at a young age. We're super athletic. We're, like Subaru, we're super fast. We're super smart. But then there comes a point, a term that I remember, a phrase, a quote I remember: harder work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And that carries so much weight in different ways. It's not just this plain simple kind of thing. There's a story behind quotes like that. There's quotes that, are manifested into scenes like this that we saw today, and we get these amazing scenes that are just 20 minutes of dialogue, but yet still one of the best episodes of anime I've ever seen. The scenes are good because they build up to this. They showcase why the person is who they are in the past, and then they bring it all to light. Whether you show before you do it or whether you're showing when you do it, if you give characterization that is as strong as this, you have beyond a special character. I want you to think, because I'm going to say something. I want you to think about this before you just start talking, in the comments or anywhere. How many episodes of your favorite character in anime have had an episode like this? How many episodes in their respective series have they had episodes as good as episode 15, 13, 18, and of course this episode of ReZero for character? How many shows have you seen have such great characterization? I'm not talking about easy stuff, guys. I'm not talking about just having emotional music in the background and having a cool scene. I'm talking about having the writing that backs that shit up. I've seen 2 episodes now. One of 20-minute dialogue to 24-minute dialogue. One to 25 to 28 minutes of dialogue. And I saw these 2 episodes that had nothing but dialogue and are still some of the best, literally, top 10 best episodes of anime I've seen in terms of the Rim episode. That was so good. It's just dialogue, man. That's how. Taipei, how? How do you write something so compelling with what you have? But going through this episode, and the part that really, really got me emotional was really whenever, Subaru's parents are so accepting, and he's just kind of like, I can't, like I said, it's like, I can't pay you back. He's trying to say, I'm not here anymore. This isn't my life. This isn't my world. I'm somewhere else. I can't pay you back. He said, just take care of us when we're old. I don't know if I will be here when you're old. I don't know if I'm ever coming back. And I got people I care about in the other world that I don't want to lose either. That's tough, man. And it makes you wonder, at the end of the day, if Subaru completes what he does he get rejected from that world and have to leave Rim and Amelia? Does he have to forget about his parents if he stays in this world? Because I find it hard for him to be able to go back and forth when he wants. Obviously, he is forced out of that world for a reason, and he's not just going to be let back in. And he was brought here for reasons that we don't know yet, but reasons that seem to be ominous, reasons that seem to have a bad omen. Man, but, going through this episode and seeing Subaru also kind of go back and forth with himself until he finally sees the image of Amelia and Rim, and his father just kind of being himself, talking to Subaru about, hey, I don't know why you don't want to go to school, but I mean, I know there had to be something. I know you got a reason. People don't just do things to do things. And I think that's something that we as people fail at. We don't realize, like, we just get so caught up in the emotional aspect and our first thoughts that we don't understand, like, everyone's pretty much going through something if they really don't want to do something. Why don't you want to do that? Why don't you want to hang out with your friends? Why did you go from someone who hung out with your friends to someone that's more of a shut-in? Why? We don't ask those questions. We assume. Sometimes we do. But most of the time, even people that typically are very passive and not aggressive towards people whenever they're going through something, but yet, like someone who's frustrated, who is typically a aggressive person, sometimes they take a step back and they do ask those questions, but they don't ask those questions consistently. They don't think about those questions consistently. And people that are really open, let's say you're a really open person and you're always asking people and trying to understand why they're doing things before you show outrage towards them. I try to get the word out there is hard, but think about that. I'm not cutting this. This is a real video. This is a genuine video. We're not cutting here, but not for sure like this. But whenever we look at people, even if we are passive people and we do typically try to understand people at all times, still think about it though. There's times to where we may not say anything, but we get frustrated and or pissed off at that person without saying anything, but it's in our head. How many times do we do that? When is our first thought, I wonder what they're going through? Subaru's dad was awesome. Now, Subaru's mom, she was someone that's so cool, saying, I understand you're going through whatever you're doing. You're my son. Whenever you say something and you say it with passion and you say it with such seriousness, I know there's something going on. Maybe you can and or can't tell me. But I get that for whatever reason, since I am your mom and I know you so well and I'm one of the closest people, to you, I want you to know that I may not know it, I may not comprehend it, but I get it. I get it. I don't know and I can't comprehend, but I get it. And that's kind of, I look at Naruto, even look at Pain. He talks about how people can understand one another, but they may not comprehend. Like, for instance, if someone goes through some kind of tragic accident in real life, you can say, okay, I can get why you're sad, but you may not comprehend how they're, wired and how they're kind of processing it. You can get an idea, you can get extremely close, but as long as you're, so far as off as a percent, then it doesn't matter. And I love that because she's like, I get it. You're my son. I get it. I know who you are as a person, just like your best friend. When your best friend says a certain thing, you're like, okay, I understand there's something going on there because you know that person so well. And just the whole parent connection, this episode, it can tear you down, it can build you up, and it can make you really envious. That was one thing that was hard to watch. I mean, it's just, losing people in your lives and then watching this episode, especially in like recent years, is tough, man. And for anyone who may be connected to this episode for that, I'm with you. I understand as much as I can. This show really brings out the worst and or best of you. What a great episode. I didn't think we're going to have an episode so reminiscent of what Rims was. They even referenced it. They wanted you to make sure you knew that this was something that was supposed to be similar. I just saw a second info dump that was just as good as the first. And the first 29 within 11 episodes of one another between episode 18 and 29. How do we get content so good? How does this happen? How do you just write this stuff? People who dislike the series, I laugh. I pity, because it's not a popularity contest and a popularity of a show and people talking about it and people, talking a show up should never be why people disengage with a show. But I see it so often. I've seen people do this over God of High School, and I've seen people do this over shows in the past like Attack on Titan and so on and so forth. And it's just so sad because they're community killers. They're killing the community doing things like that through just like some kind of bravado. And ReZero is a show that should be humbling. It's a popular show, and people don't want to watch it because it's getting talked about too much. This show is so humbling. Man, I don't even. What do you say, man? That I can look at my notes. What do you say? What a great episode. Whew. That's a good episode of anime right there. I love it. This shit is my passion, but sometimes my passion overwhelms me. But I don't really want to ramble on much longer, just trying to think over the top of my head. This is an emotional episode, man, for me. Whew, I felt this. Go watch my episode 18 video, and you'll see the same reaction from somebody. But you know, there comes a time to where you got to turn the reviewer off in you and try to really balance that with this realism. And every time I approach a video, I like to say I'm at least 90, 95% myself, but my thoughts are always 100. But being able to truly express yourself, at 100% capacity, even whenever you're trying, it isn't as easy when the camera's on and, of course, the mic's on. But it's definitely hard to, make that professional level video that some people seek. But at the end of the day, I do want to say this. Whenever you guys watch a video like this, whenever you guys hear my phone go off and make the video even less professional, I hope you know I'm coming at you with genuineness, because that's all rezero can bring out of me, and that's all any of the anime I watch typically bring out of me. I mean, it's tough, man. I always approach this shit with 100%, force of trying to, or 100% intention of trying to just be as emotionally transparent as I can with you guys. But whenever you get shows like this, it's so easy. It's so easy. I don't need to be a reviewer. I just need to talk about realism, life, and how we're able to project ourselves onto this amazing character that's Subaru Nagatsuki. And I know I've rambled for maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes. But if you did make it somehow this far in the video, 1, thank you. 2, what are your thoughts? 3, you guys have been hexed. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Thank you for watching so much. I hope this show does for you as it does to me. I hope it makes you emotional in a good way. I hope it makes you cry out some of that frustration. I hope that you have to cover up your eyes and maybe even wipe them whenever you're watching episodes episodes like this. Because at the end of the day, what Subaru goes through may be in a fictional show. It may be on a computer screen in her monitor, whatever it may be on. But at the end of the day, I'll tell you this. What's happening on that screen and what that character is going through is has fictional setting, has magic, has powers, but the mental aspect is all too real.